Trump has announced what he calls the biggest oil deal in world history, claiming the US will secure majority control of more than 65 billion barrels of Venezuelan proven reserves. Trump's Venezuela announcement comes as he faces pressure over high fuel prices and the prolonged Iran conflict. Trump says the agreement will give the United States majority control over more than 65 billion barrels of Venezuelan proven oil reserves. Trump says the Venezuela arrangement will raise US oil supply and lower gasoline prices over time. The agreement was announced as Washington faces growing pressure over petrol costs during the ongoing Iran conflict. Trump said, and I quote, "The United States of America has just entered into an agreement with the country of Venezuela on the biggest oil deal in world history. At my direction, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, working closely with highly respected interim President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodríguez, and, through a partnership with private business, have secured majority US control of more than 65 billion barrels of proven oil reserves in Venezuela, at no cost to the American taxpayer. This historic transaction more than doubles American oil reserves, greatly increases our oil supply, and will substantially lower gas prices for all Americans, long into the future, while helping to continue to set Venezuela on a course toward tremendous success and great prosperity. This transaction will greatly strengthen the already growing relationship between Venezuela and the United States. Thank you for your attention to this groundbreaking matter. Make America great again." Unquote. Trump is presenting the Venezuelan oil agreement as a long-term answer to higher fuel prices, saying it will expand US reserves and supply. Trump's claim centers on majority US control of 65 billion barrels of proven reserves, but the White House has not explained the deal's timeline, investment structure, production targets. A new U.S. aircraft carrier is reportedly set to deploy to the Middle East in the coming weeks, adding another major American naval move to the region. The USS Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group is expected to sail from San Diego on the U.S. West Coast as preparations for its deployment continue. News of the USS Roosevelt's upcoming deployment came just a day after Iran mocked the USS Lincoln's next move amid its prolonged deployment. The Iranian government mocked the USS Lincoln's planned Thailand stop on August 26, sarcastically describing the carrier's rest period as a vacation. The Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group is expected to begin a deployment lasting more than 7 months, according to the U.S. Naval Institute, placing it on an extended operational schedule. The Roosevelt is expected to relieve the USS George Washington, which arrived in the Middle East just last week as part of the latest American carrier rotation. The USS George Washington had itself replaced the USS Lincoln, which is now heading toward Thailand for a planned halt after its lengthy deployment. The latest changes in the U.S. military's Middle East carrier deployments were reported by the Times of Israel on August 27, highlighting a rapid reshuffling of American naval forces in the region. In a post on X, Bagay claimed the U.S. had sent the warship to the region to project power, while portraying its Thailand stop as evidence of the strain from its long deployment. Bagay also shared a meme on August 26 from the film The Green Mile, using the caption "I'm tired, boss" to mock the U.S. aircraft carrier. Ismail Bagay said, and I quote, "America sent the USS Abraham Lincoln to the region to project power. After months of war, and more than 200 days without a single port call, it is now heading to Thailand for crew R&R. Mission: Project Power. Current mission: Project Vacation." Unquote. The remarks came as the USS Lincoln is preparing to stop in Thailand following what has been described as a record-length deployment in the Middle East. Thai defense officials said the USS Lincoln is expected to stop in Thailand next week for rest and recovery, according to CBS News. The aircraft carrier has been supporting U.S. military operations against Iran during its prolonged deployment, keeping the ship and its crew at sea for an extended period. According to U.S. officials, the USS Lincoln has spent more than 260 days at sea in an uninterrupted deployment, highlighting the scale of the mission and the pressure on its crew. As concerns mount over conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, a new report has raised questions about why the American aircraft carrier faced serious supply problems during its extended deployment. Journalist David Rhodey said the carrier was not adequately resupplied after Iran damaged a key U.S. Navy logistics base in Bahrain, forcing the Navy to rely on much longer supply routes. Rhodey alleged that War Secretary Pete Hegseth hid the fact that Iran destroyed the main U.S. resupply base in the Gulf, though the extent of the alleged damage has not been independently confirmed. The journalist said Hegseth did not reveal this critical information in any public press conference, despite mounting reports about shortages and deteriorating conditions aboard the carrier. The USS Abraham Lincoln has remained deployed for more than 260 days, leaving thousands of sailors and Marines at sea for an unusually long and demanding period. The carrier has broken the U.S. Navy record for the longest deployment without a port call, placing exceptional strain on the ship's crew, supplies, and maintenance systems. Reports emerged of crew members attempting to jump overboard amid claims of food and supply shortages, along with concerns over exhaustion, morale, and mental health on board. However, both Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have denied the claims of a crisis aboard the carrier, dismissing the reports as false or misrepresented.
A big part of your presidency?
This morning you said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic
No, I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do other things.
Expiration of the Memorandum of Understanding. Are you any closer today to reaching a final deal to end Iran's nuclear program?
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon. And right now, them building one after what we did previously with the B-2 bombers, going to be a long time behalf. But Iran cannot have. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear
Mr.
weapon.
President, is there enough food on the USS Lincoln?
Yeah, it is. That was a CNN fake report. The Lincoln has been out there for a period of time, good period of time. But over the years, we've had them out there much longer. I was at a group meeting, and an admiral came up to see me over the weekend. And it was at a big group, and he happened to be an admiral retired. He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir. And I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of. And other people went out and they found out to be true. It was fake news reporting from CNN.
The British Prime Minister recently reportedly sent text to someone impersonating Susie Wiles. Are you concerned about his judgment or the state of communications between the two countries?
No, but who happened? What happened? They sent text?
Apparently the Prime Minister sent text to somebody impersonating Susie Wiles. And it was
I'm sure that he had a miscommunication.
Last week you said that you would soon declare the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory.
When might you do that?
We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance. They can put a mine in the water, and people don't like having mines hit their billion-dollar ships, etc. But the blockade has been very effective. And, we're taking out, and now maybe that will stop, or maybe it'll open up even further, but we're taking out millions of barrels of oil a week. If you look at the kind of numbers that we're doing, the strait is open. And the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing. Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess, and the military is totally defeated. Thank you very much.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.